Welcome to Corkine This Week, the podcast recorded November 14th, 2019. This is the show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of Corkine right now and give you my opinion on them. Now, this is my opinion. If you want to learn more about these stories, we have them all in the show notes down below on YouTube. Or if you're listening to this on the MP3, you can find these links on our YouTube video of this or over at corkcarsnews.com when I post it over the weekend. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. It's Disney Plus week. There's so much happening. Jess, how have you survived Disney Plus? Are you still here?
I have been loving Disney Plus. It is freezing up here in Cleveland, so I have been happily staying inside and watching Marvel movies nonstop.
Yeah, for all the weeks of Disney Plus to launch, a cold, wintry, kind of gloomy for like the whole eastern half of the United States, it was probably one of the best weeks because I know up in Alaska, they're getting absolutely slammed. And Michigan, Ohio, the kind of Great Lakes area, it's been slammed with cold weather. So kind of a great, perfect week for them to come out because it definitely feels like, hey, let me get a blanket, let me get a cup of hot chocolate, and let's watch some Darkwing Duck.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned Darkwing Duck. Yes.
My childhood is back. Rushing home to watch, DuckTales and all that. Unfortunately, though, I was always DuckTales. It seemed like it was one of the first ones, and I was the last kid off the bus for my school.
No.
So I typically missed DuckTales, even though I loved it. I have a lot more memories of Tailspin and Darkwing Duck and all that than I do of DuckTales. Now, my brother was older, and his I think middle school and stuff, his bus would drop him off earlier, so he would always be home watching DuckTales when I got home, and I hated it.
We missed it.
Yeah, so
okay, Darkwing Duck was better anyway.
It was better, but I'm kind of glad I get to watch all of them, and I'm going to try to watch all of it with my daughter now.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty fun. So anything other than Disney Plus that's really stood out to you this week, Jess?
I feel like this whole week has just been taken over by Disney completely. But something else I wanted to mention is that I got to do an interview with the president of Crackle, a free streaming service. And that was one of the highlights of my week. I had a really good time talking to him and learning more about the original content that they're coming out with and what their strategy is now that they've been bought by Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting move there. And I'm kind of interested to see what the content looks like. Now that it's not associated directly with Sony, will more companies be willing to put their content on Crackle? And how does that all work out? So I'm very excited. Definitely read that. That was a very interesting post. If you haven't, go to corkcarsnews.com, check out the Crackle story just made. And we're going to try to get some more interviews and stuff going in the future, not just in written, but maybe even joining us on the podcast. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I heard a rumor from their PR person that he might be interested in coming on the podcast and talking with us.
Well, I'm going to consider that a done deal. I'm kidding. That sounds great. So we'll work on that. I got a few other people that I've been talking to about that too. We may get some people here in the weeks to come. If you have somebody you'd like us to interview, send us an email through the Contact Us page over at corkcarsnews.com. Leave us a comment in the YouTube video. I'd love to hear who you want us to interview. But before we get into the news and all things Disney Plus, don't forget that we're giving away a 2019 Fire TV Cube and a $100 Hulu gift card. Now, terms and conditions can be found in the show notes down below. I will include the terms and conditions in the description of the audio file if you're downloading us on the Apple Podcasts or TuneIn or one of the other apps out there. But there's all kinds of ways to enter. You don't have to do them all, but the more you do, the more chances you get to enter. So keep that in mind. But you have 11 days from when I'm recording this. So the end of next week, basically, it's run with that to enter. Don't wait, though. The more things you do, the more chances you get to enter for a chance to win. All right, let's dive into all things Disney Plus real quick. Disney Plus came out on Tuesday. Reportedly, 10 million people signed up on from Tuesday morning to sometime on Wednesday morning, according to Disney. They said 10 million new subscribers. I wonder, now they said that just since launch, so how many people signed up for those D23 deals where you got 3 years and more? And a lot of people are wondering if a lot of those 10 million are Verizon customers because you couldn't activate your free year of Verizon until Tuesday. But Disney Plus did have some glitches, and after seeing 10 million signups in a single day, you can kind of understand why they may have had some glitches there that caused it. They were pretty short-lived, and they were capacity issues. They were issues with people trying to get into Disney Plus but were unable to because so many people were just pounding on Disney Plus that were trying to get in there. Now, a few quick notes for the most common questions we get. There is the $12.99 Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus bundle. Yes, you can get that with a Hulu Live TV and with a Hulu Limited commercial plan. What you do is you end up with a $5.99 credit, and then you pay the difference for those different plans if you want the Live TV plan or if you want the commercial-free plan. Not a bad deal if you have all three. I was not able to figure out if you were able to take advantage of that if you had prepaid for 3 months or 3 years through the D23 one. We'll look into that. That's something somebody asked me about today, and I'll try to figure that out. But Jess, Disney Plus is here. What do you think?
I think that's all we've been talking about all week long, and I'm not mad about it. I signed up through Verizon. I have a Verizon Unlimited mobile plan, and I thought the sign up was super easy. I was concerned that there would be some kind of glitches or technical problems with that, but I had a very easy time. I was signed up within just a couple minutes, and I'm loving it so far. I know a lot of people have been having trouble too. We do have posts on the site about how to get your bundle deal or how to go through Verizon, so if you need help, just check out the site.
Yeah, you know what I was surprised by? Disney made a very good app that's very beautiful. I know there's some people wish it had this or wish it had that, but it's a very beautiful, elegant app. It works pretty much the same across all streaming devices. A lot of people have come out here and said, hey, you know, Roku can't make a beautiful app. Roku's apps aren't beautiful. Well, I'm looking at the Disney Plus app. I'm looking at the Apple TV app on Roku, and it's like, yeah, I mean, these are apps on par with anything you'll see on any other streaming player, and they're absolutely beautiful. So it more comes down to programmers spending the time to design it, which I thought was pretty cool. How did you feel about the app's user interface and how it worked out overall?
I'm really liking it so far. So something I do want to play around with is setting up different profiles for different family members. I live alone, but I think that I will set one up for my cousins for whenever they come over to visit so that they can kind of customize their profile with the stuff that they want to watch and just kind of play around with that and see how all of that works. That's something I've had a problem with on other streaming services before, is setting up different profiles and then getting weird recommendations. So I'd like to see how that works on Disney.
Is somebody hacking your account? Somebody, logging in and watching? No.
Password stealing.
I had that happen to me. I had that quite a few years ago. I had the same Hulu email and username, and it was my junk email and my junk username, and it matched my Hulu as it matched a ton of junk websites. And suddenly I noticed like weird things popping up, like dance moms and stuff in my feed. And I wasn't watching those. And then like a new profile appeared and stuff, and I logged in, and yep, there's people using my account that shouldn't be. So keep that in mind. And it wasn't Hulu. A lot of people are like, oh, Hulu got hacked. No, Hulu didn't get hacked. It was the fact that one of those junk websites I got was hacked. And there's actually a lot of people out there, they use bots that like, hey, we break into this website with a few thousand or a few 100,000 accounts, and then we use those emails and those usernames across different ones. So keep that in mind. Sorry, got completely distracted.
No, it's a good reminder though, and we tell people sometimes to make sure that you go into your Hulu account from time to time and other streaming services too, and just see all the devices that are listed on your account and make sure that they all belong to you. Yeah,
because it's very easy for you to suddenly find that they're not there. And I mean, maybe you shared it with a family member and they never logged out when you were at their house or something. But no, I've been very pleased with the Disney Plus app. I like the kids profile on it. I really enjoy having the limited ones there. I do wish, and maybe this is here, and let me know if this feature is available. I wish more services would do that. That like on my Netflix, where my profile is password protected. There's like a 3 or 4 digit password I could put on it. But my daughter's profile is just open, so that when my daughter comes on, she's smart. She knows that she could click on Dad's profile if she wants to watch unrestricted content. And that's what I would love to see more services add. Other than that, I've been very, very happy.
Yeah, it's really great. Something I'm really impressed with is just how much content is available. I knew that there would be a lot. We've done posts about here's everything coming to Disney Plus, so it wasn't super surprising, but still whenever I opened it up, I was like, wow, there's just so much to choose from. There's so many movies I can watch right now. I don't even know where to start.
You know what struck me as interesting was that The Simpsons is the number one episode or number one show right now on Disney Plus. Let me go through here. I want to know, I'm logging in real quick to the website, and I want to know what you think. Trending right now for movies is Avatar, Frozen, Toy Story 3, Avengers Endgame, and The Force Awakens Episode 7. Does that surprise you? Oh, wait, I was looking at the wrong one. It shifted. Okay. That was hit movies. Trending, I apologize, is The Simpsons, I'm butchering this. How do you say it? M-O, yep. The Mandalorian, Frozen, and The Lion King. Does it surprise you that Fox's content is more popular?
I don't know. I have noticed, though, on Twitter especially, people were talking about The Simpsons like crazy. And I know part of that is because there were some issues with The Simpsons. Their aspect ratio is a little bit off, and a lot of people were talking about it. I'm almost wondering if some people went in just to see what that looked like.
Yeah, they also are not including the Michael Jackson episode.
Mm-hmm. I did a little digging about that. Yeah. It was because there was an agreement between, was it maybe the Michael Jackson estate or something, where they agreed to pull that completely, and Disney Plus agreed to that also.
Interesting. So the Michael Jackson group asked for that.
I think so. I don't remember exactly what group it was. I'll have to go back and check again.
And I kind of remember the head of The Simpsons at one point saying that they were going to remove it from Hulu or some other place it was on. Maybe it was the on-demand cable packages through FX that had it. They were removing it for a while.
Yeah, so it was that same agreement that Disney Plus also agreed to, so they decided not to put it on their service as well.
The other interesting thing with Disney Plus was the fact that they're putting warnings on some of the content out there about it being culturally, at the time it includes something like cultural stereotypes that may be considered offensive now, or some type of warning along those lines that I thought was interesting.
Saying that the content is outdated because of different themes. So it's a little bit, some of it is like racist content, potentially racist. Some of it is violence. Some of it's just smoking. They're putting warnings out about that. Mischievous behavior was one of the warnings. So it's really covering a broad spectrum of different things.
Yeah, some of it was, the mischievous behavior one I thought was a little bit interesting. But I get it a little bit. It's 2019. It's not 1919. When did Steamboat Willie come out? 1920? 1930s. So there's a big difference. It definitely makes you wonder what we do today that our great grandkids are going to look at us and be like, "You're crazy."
Can't believe you did that. Yeah, it was 1928 for Steamboat Willie.
There you go. So yeah, so it's definitely a different time and place for a lot of this content. So I'm kind of happy that Disney just said, "Hey, we'll put a warning on it, and this is what Walt created at the time back in the 1940s, 1950s, and so forth." So
yeah, a lot of people were talking about that. There are certain episodes and things that people were asking if, and then there was a scene in Dumbo that people were asking if they would take out the crows in Dumbo.
Yep.
And I think people are just generally happy that they left it as is, but also happy that they did put on the warning and just acknowledge that some people might have an issue with this, or some people might have a problem with watching it. And so they just say, here it is. Yes, it's outdated, but yes, we're going to show it in its original format.
Yeah, and I think Amazon kind of got this ball started because they put a similar warning on older classic Looney Tunes episodes that had kind of, this is dated stereotypes, we'll call it. And there is some truth, so I kind of, there's a balance here. I think removing the Michael Jackson thing, especially if it was at the request of the Michael Jackson estate, is, hey, if they want it, I can understand that. And it'll be interesting. I'll be wondering if we see more of these kind of warnings pop up on other services as we start seeing more and more classic TV shows become very popular. Will Peacock do it if they add a bunch of older NBC programming from way back in the day and more?
Yeah, definitely. I know Warner Brothers also has a really good warning that's like very comprehensive of why they're doing it and what you can expect from it. So I do think that other companies are sort of leading the way and sending out those messages too. I think it's a good thing. I'm happy about it.
Oliver in the chat, now I have not seen Avatar on Disney Plus, says their Avatar has a warning too about some of the content. So that'll be interesting. I'll have to look into that because I wonder what content in Avatar. I have actually never seen Avatar. I know I probably lost a lot of credit with people listening right now. But so I'm interested to see what warning would be on that. Oliver, leave us a comment. Let us know exactly what they said there.
I'm actually checking right now to see if I can find it. I just pulled up my account and I'm going to open Avatar.
All right, you do that. The other thing I thought was very interesting was there were a few seasons missing. For instance, Hannah Montana just had a random season missing. I wonder if that was just about at the time that it was missing because they were still uploading content or dealing with capacity issues. But there was times where it'd be a random episode be missing here or a random season will be here and there that will be missing. So there definitely is more content coming. Disney says on Fridays they'll be adding new content for like The Mandalorian and other original programming. So check that out on Fridays when that rolls out.
I actually just checked Avatar and I'm not seeing a warning. I'm just seeing the regular description of the movie. So
all right, Oliver says it rolls at the top of the screen about violence. I'm assuming he means while the video is playing that there is violence in the movie. And those kind of warnings have been a lot. You see a lot of different streaming services and say, hey, this is maybe not a rated movie or television show because it's not gone to a movie theater, but it does include language, violence, depiction of smoking. I'm seeing more and more on different services and more, which I'm fine with. I'm all about saying, hey, you know what? Here's what's in this movie. You decide if you want to watch it or not. You know?
Yeah, I agree. One other thing I wanted to mention, since we're talking about changes and different content, is that people were saying that the Star Wars movies are different on Disney Plus than they were in theaters. That is true, but it's because Disney Plus is using the Blu-ray version. So in the 2000s, they went back and added some different effects, changed just a couple of things. So it shouldn't be drastically different, but it is the Blu-ray version that you'll find on Disney Plus.
Yeah, they're always Star Wars always got different versions because there was the original, there was the special editions, which I remember rewatching in theaters when those came out in the 90s. And then there was the DVD version, which I even think had a few different. It was the DVD version where, or was it a special edition where Han didn't shoot first or something.
Right.
And then there's the Blu-ray and so forth. So yeah, there's quite a few versions, and it would be cool if Disney at some point would be, I could totally see Disney doing this in a year. Oh, the original uncut version of Star Wars is here, or the original special edition version from the 90s. And then you could pick like all these different versions. That would be really cool.
It would be. And Disney, if you're listening, May 4th would be a great time for that. May the 4th be with you.
There we go.
Great event for Disney.
The one movie I really want to see, I actually think it was one of the stronger movies, and I understand that some people love this Star Wars movie, some people hate it, but the Rogue One movie, of all the side stories, I thought was one of the better ones, and I would love to see the original version, because remember when the trailer came out, there was a bunch of scenes in the trailer that didn't make the movie, and apparently they reshot a good chunk of it to make it a little less dark, a little less violent. And I kind of want to see that version we saw in the trailer with the TIE fighter scene and all the other things that happened that we never got to see in the final theatrical version. So I could totally see Disney being like, hey, I know Disney Plus has been around for a year, but if you stay subscribed, guess what? We're bringing in these additional versions of Disney ones out there.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think they would be really smart to do that to keep people interested.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about Disney. Anything we want to add about Disney Plus before we move on?
I really like it. I think that the hype was well-deserved. I am not at all disappointed, but I would love to hear what other people are thinking about watching it too.
All right, so leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. But hey, Roku ending support for some older Roku players. Just what is happening?
Yeah, so this is not the first time this has happened. Roku in the past has already ended support for devices made before 2011. And now there are more devices that are losing support. So these include some from 2013, including the Roku 2 line. This includes devices like the first generation Roku 2 and Roku 1 from 2013. And I know that this is disappointing to people that have these devices, but you have to remember that now these devices are at least 6 years old, and they just can't support the kind of updates or the new apps that are coming out right now. So this is something that it's just kind of like a natural thing that has to happen and something that Roku has to do. Now, Roku is offering a deal for people who have been affected by this change. So if you have one of these now outdated devices, you can still use it. You just can't get new updates on it. But if you have one of these devices, Roku is offering a deal for a new Roku Express for just $15, which is a great deal if you need to upgrade your device.
Yeah, I was just Googling real quick because I was wondering what was the iPhone back in 2013. And
Yeah.
for most of it was the iPhone 4. iPhone 4 came out very late 2012, and then the iPhone 5, iPhone 5, because the 5S came out in late. So, I mean, we're on what, iPhone 11 or whatever it is now, X2, 3, Mega something.
I have an 11, so I think that's where we're at now.
There we go. So we're on the iPhone 11 with multiple versions thereof. And now, you go back to an iPhone 5, try to run that stuff on there. You probably won't be able to take advantage of a lot of it. So definitely understandable for Roku saying, hey, now we're not shutting anything down. Your apps will continue to work. But starting this month, we're just not going to continue to update this Roku player. I get that. Apple has done that. Apple has gone back to older iPhones, older Macs. They're actually very notorious for streaming players because the Apple TV 3, when the Apple TV 4 came out, was just like a dead in the water. All the cool new apps and features coming to the 4 were not coming to the Apple TV 3. A few things came later, but it was nothing like what the 4 got. So I think Roku's actually done a pretty decent job, if you consider, like you said, 6, almost 7 years now later, and they're still been updating it this entire time.
Yeah, and something I just want to point out, it's very cool that they're offering a deal for people with outdated devices to help them upgrade to a new one. That's something that a lot of companies don't do. Like you mentioned, Apple, they're not going to send you an email saying, here's $100 off a new 4K TV if yours is outdated. So I just want to say good job, Roku. That was some really good customer service. And also, if you need a new one, look out for Black Friday deals. There's some really good ones coming up.
Yeah, there's an $18 Roku SE, which is going to be an Express out there. It's going to be a stripped down version of the Express. There's going to be a $50 Roku Ultra, half price on a 2019 Roku Ultra. Highly recommend that deal if you can. And if you travel a lot, the Roku Stick Plus will be just $29.99, a really good deal. If you want to switch over to Amazon, the Fire TV Stick HD will be just $19.99. So I don't think that's the best deal. Wasn't the Amazon Prime Day like $14.99 for the HD stick there?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So I would say, this may be a good time to stock up. I'm going to see if I can get that $18 Roku and put them as some stocking stuffers. You always go to those parties where it's like bring an under $20 gift. A Roku or Fire TV stick would be a pretty good option there.
Definitely.
So leave me a comment and let me know if you find if you've been affected by this, what streaming player you've been affected, and what you think of it. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Pluto TV is launching several CBS stations, including an Entertainment Tonight station, a CBS News New York, and a CBS News Los Angeles, joining the CBS News 24/7 channel that was already on Pluto TV. This comes as Pluto TV and CBS will soon be merging into Viacom, not Pluto TV, CBS. Pluto TV is owned by Viacom, so Viacom and CBS will be soon merging into Viacom CBS, a new company that will be offering the ability to allow you to stream a ton of different content out there and have my phone went off and distracted me. It's back up here. It will allow you to hopefully, according to CBS and Viacom, what they're saying is have more CBS content on Pluto TV. This seems to be the first step of that. What do you think, Jess? What do you think of what Pluto TV's been up to recently with this merger?
Yeah, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone who has been reading or listening lately, but I love a good deal and love a good free streaming service, so I'm all about this. So this reminded me a lot of whenever Viacom took over Pluto, and just immediately we got all kinds of cool new channels. We got some Nickelodeon content, we got branded channels like Dora the Explorer, we got MTV, we got all kinds of reality shows showing up on Pluto. And I think that this is sort of along the same vein, and I think it's great. The more content, the better. Pluto is a really good free streaming service, so if you're not already trying it out, definitely take a look. Now that CBS is getting more on board with everything and adding their content, I think that you can't go wrong with using Pluto.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all comes together there. Pluto TV, they've talked a lot about using it to promote CBS products, kind of like we've seen recently with where the Dora the Explorer channel came out, 24/7 Dora the Explorer leading up to the Dora movie, the James Bond channel, 24/7 James Bond leading up to the James Bond movie early next year. So definitely exciting to see how they're going to use this. And, I wouldn't expect, they say early in December the merger will go through, barring any last second legal issues, but that's what they still expect according to today's Viacom earnings call. And they expect that to, be able to bring more content, but that won't necessarily happen the day it merges. So don't be like, oh, Pluto TV is now part of CBS Viacom or Viacom CBS, whatever they're calling it. So that must mean a ton of the CBS content is going to show up tomorrow. It took a couple months for Viacom content. I want to say the merger happened in February, was closed in March, and it didn't actually see content appear until late April, May timeframe. A lot with that.
Yeah, it was spring, summer that we really saw a surge in Viacom content, and they've been steadily adding more too. So this will definitely be something that happens over time.
Yeah. So we'll keep a close eye on this. Let me know, what's your favorite Pluto TV station? We'll love to hear from you. All right. So new over there TV stations. Jess, what's happening here?
Yeah, so let's talk about antennas a little bit. We've had stories recently about rescanning your antenna to get more channels, and now might be a good time to do that once again, or if you haven't lately, to do it for the first time in a while, because the good news is that Fox is adding more channels. So a lot of people will be seeing some new channels showing up whenever they rescan. For example, Decades TV will now be available in 12 major markets, which means a huge area of the country will now be able to get Decades TV with their antenna. And this is good news for anyone who likes classic content, because Decades TV has a ton of really good content. Some that we listed are The Best of Ed Sullivan, I Love Lucy, The Mary Tyler Moore Show is one of my favorites. So you can get all of that on Decades. And this is also just a general reminder that anyone using an antenna to watch local channels, you want to rescan from time to time just to check and see if any new channels have been added. We try to catch them all and update on cordcuttersnews.com, but you never know if in a certain market new channels will be added. So definitely from time to time, on a regular basis if you can, just do a quick rescan.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that is Decades was on CBS. It was a heavy CBS sub-channel. And when CBS launched their own, I think it was called Start TV, they replaced it. They replaced Decades. And a lot of people were very upset about that. Now, Decades wasn't exclusive to CBS, but a lot of CBS stations had been carrying it. So it's good to see them start to come out to more and more subdomains to replace those markets. Hopefully more Fox affiliates add it, now that Fox parent company has added it in 12 markets, I believe. So it's really great. I've added quite a few over there TV channels. Of course, we got Court TV. Me TV came here. The Retro TV channel is one I actually enjoyed when I lived in Michigan. I keep hoping it pops up down here in Texas. I'll have to see if that is available. I wonder if that's even still a channel. I bet it still is. I can't imagine it shut down. So leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite sub channel is. I'll love to hear from you.
Someone did just comment that their favorite Pluto channel is Totally Turtle, and I need you to tell me if this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle channel, because if so, I haven't seen it and I need to watch it. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so much. So who commented on this? Johnny, please let me know. Is this a Ninja Turtle channel on Pluto TV?
They did have one, and it was a promo channel for a while. And is it still there? I wonder. I'll have to look there.
Yeah, definitely. I have bought, I think I own all of the Ninja Turtle movies. They're my favorite thing to watch whenever I'm sick and staying at home on the couch all day. But yeah, getting that for free would be fantastic. Classic Doctor Who, someone else said too.
Classic Doctor Who is some of my favorite. I was watching American Gladiators on
Yeah.
Pluto TV. The classic from, I think it was actually aired a lot in the 80s, early 90s. I want to remember when it actually first started going. But my brother and I used to watch that when it aired on USA Network, back when that was still on kind of a new network. And we would go and place, when we were kids, we would place bets on who was going to be the winner for it. We always loved that. So.
Did you recreate it in your living room by hitting each other with pillows? Because that's what my brothers and I did.
We didn't recreate it, but we did hit each other. But it wasn't necessary because we were playing American Gladiators.
Sure.
I mean, just be honest. Another one a lot of people are throwing out there, I don't know if this is on Pluto TV, but it is on Stir and others, is Comet TV is a great free service out there. It's a sub-channel, too, that I absolutely love. With Babylon 5, Stargate, and so much more. So check that out. It's managed by MGM, so it has the MGM catalog of content. All right, anything else we should add here?
I don't think so. We did get a little off track and just started talking about Pluto TV instead, but I had to mention Ninja Turtles while I had the chance.
Hey, that's okay. I'm happy to talk about that. Well, Jess, we may have a new king of the live TV streaming world, according to a report from Moffett-Nathanson. I hope I said that right. Hulu had been confirmed by Disney to be the fastest growing live TV streaming service, and we reported back in August that if it continues this rate of growth, it will become the largest live TV streaming service sometime this year. Now, Moffett-Nathanson says at the end of the third quarter of 2019 calendar year, Hulu now tops Sling TV by having 2.7 million subscribers, live TV ones, compared to Sling TV, which has 2.69 million. So it's not that far ahead, but that would make them the largest one. So I love, Jess, surprising. A lot of people hit on Hulu. It does have a little bit of a limited DVR issue there, unless you want to pay more, and it doesn't have AMC. Apparently, though, for a lot of people, I'll be honest, I can live without The Walking Dead. My wife cannot. So there's always a little bit difference there. But I think they're really doing a good job of saying, hey, we have 20-some million on-demand customers. Let's convert them to live TV subscribers, have it all in one spot. That seems to be really paying off well for them right now.
Yeah, I think Hulu is great. I am not at all surprised to hear this. I've mentioned before that Hulu with Live is my personal preference for watching live TV. I really like it, and I'm sure it's different in different areas and what different channels you'll get. But I have had great luck with Hulu. I can watch all of my sports. I have it set to record games if I'm missing them. And I haven't had any trouble with the DVR, but that said, I am not someone who records a lot of shows. I usually watch live, or I just watch them on demand later. So that doesn't affect me a whole lot, but I do understand the frustration that some people have with that. And like you said, Hulu isn't super above the others. They also talked about YouTube TV, DirecTV Now, which is now AT&T TV Now, and Sling TV. And they're all doing well. I'm looking at the charts right now. They've all grown a little bit. That whole study was just about the rise in ad-supported services too, and how it's affecting people leaving cable subscriptions and coming over to live TV services or choosing ad-supported services instead.
Now, here's an interesting thing to throw out there. PlayStation Vue, a little over 2 months from now, will be shutting down. Where do those subscribers grow? Are they more likely to go to Sling TV or Hulu? Or will they be more likely to go somewhere else? Because a massive influx, whoever gets the majority of those are going to get quite a speed bump here. Will YouTube TV be picking up a lot? I've heard a lot of talk that a lot of PlayStation Vue subscribers, that the lineup there and the features there are very similar, especially when it comes to the DVR. But a lot of people have also been looking at Sling TV and Hulu. I've been hearing that name a lot. AT&T TV Now, will they pick up some of the subscribers? I will be interested to see what the fight looks like here in the next few months for PlayStation Vue subscribers. VidGo just announced, hey, If you send us a copy of your VidGo bill, we'll give you a second month of VidGo $14.99 package for free. So 2 months of VidGo for $14.99, not a bad deal. If you're a PlayStation Vue subscriber, YouTube TV did a little bit of a, if you subscribe today, you will get the ability to go and get a 2-week free trial there. So check that out.
Yeah, definitely. And I think all of these services would be smart to try and scoop up some of those subscribers. I don't know about you, Luke, but I have not copied and pasted the address for our comparison chart so much in my entire time at Cord Cutters News. I've been sending it out to people left and right, just saying, here are all of your options, compare the channels, choose what's right for you. And I think that's really helpful. So if you haven't already checked out the comparison chart, definitely do it. You can see what channels you had before and what you'll get with all of these different services.
Yeah, the one thing here is it definitely feels like we're getting separation with these live TV services. If these numbers are right, if Sling TV and Hulu are neck and neck at about 2.7 million, let's just put them roughly right there. YouTube TV, according to this report, is only at 1.6 million, and then everything's below that. We're starting to see 1 million subscriber separation between the two. Is Sling TV and Hulu going to be the main wingers? I don't know if that's really true now. I just feel like they're still close enough that, if a majority of the PlayStation Vue subscribers went to YouTube TV, that could change everything right now.
Yeah, and also a lot of these services don't give us their exact numbers, so it can be really hard to see what the real accurate number is for each one of them and really put them side by side to compare. But yeah, I completely agree with you. This PlayStation Vue closing situation is really going to shake things up a little bit, so I'm interested also.
Definitely. We do know hard numbers on AT&T TV now, and we do know hard numbers in Sling TV. The rest are all estimates. Now, MoffettNathanson has a huge track record of being very reliable, very accurate in this kind of stuff. So don't disregard it. But I have heard that I've heard a couple things. One thing I've heard is from a source that PlayStation Vue, for now, a lot of people are hanging around. We'll see how that plays out. And I've heard that YouTube TV may be as close as 2 million, according to some different analyst. But MoffettNathanson, however you say it, I'm butchering it, I apologize,
MoffettNathanson.
Yeah, has a really good track record, and at least gives us an idea of where everything's moving. A lot of these numbers all line up very well. A lot of the analysts are saying Sling TV and Hulu are up front, followed by YouTube TV, followed by PlayStation Vue right now, or excuse me, AT&T TV now, PlayStation Vue, probably Philo over PlayStation Vue now, and Fubo TV down below that. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the end.
Yeah, we're getting some comments in the chat right now. It's looking pretty equal between people saying they went to YouTube TV and went to Hulu. So thank you for sharing that, guys. If anyone else wants to say where they're going after PlayStation Vue, please let us know.
Yeah, well, definitely it'll be interesting to look at that. All right, so let's quickly do the last story of the day before we get into everybody's questions and talk about things to watch. Roku makes $22 in revenue per user based off of subscriptions and ad revenue. We get a lot of questions, how can Roku go and sell a player like they are for $18 on Black Friday and make any money on it? Well, it's very clear. Hey, if we're going to make $22 per user every year, yeah, we can afford to sell it cheaper. Roku's definitely pursuing the Google model of we're going to give you the service for free or very cheap, and then we will make money in the long term off of the subscriptions off of that. Now, the interesting thing here is Roku is basically an ad revenue company. 22.58. Oh, wait, I read that number wrong. I got lost in the list.
That's okay. That's how much money they make per user per year in ad and subscription revenue, $22.58.
I thought this one here. Oh, here we go. $112.2 million in revenue off of subscriptions and ads versus in the third quarter versus $6.2 million in revenue off of player sales in the third quarter of 2019. Sorry, I got jumbled on my screen when I scrolled and couldn't find where that number went.
That's okay. That's why I keep my notes to stay on track.
There you go. So that's a pretty massive change or separation there, and it really underlines the motive of Roku saying, "Hey, we're going to give you dirt cheap Roku players because we believe we can make the money in the long run off of ad revenue.
Yeah, and with 32.3 million active users right now, they are really doing just fine with their revenue right now.
Perfect. Yeah, so any last comments here on this?
No, just again, keep an eye out for those Black Friday deals if you're looking for a new Roku. They will give you ads whenever you turn on your device, and it will be completely worth it.
And a lot of those ads you see on those free streaming services are served by Roku, like Google does for different websites, and then Roku gets a slight slice of that. Of course, the app gets the majority of the revenue from that there. All right, so one last thing. We kind of talked about last week, but Roku did say that ad-supported streaming is growing faster than subscription-supported streaming. So not necessarily going to see a huge that doesn't necessarily mean that ad-supported streaming will jump subscription streaming, but we are seeing a trend there.
Yeah, definitely. Good to point out.
All right, Jess, what questions has everybody had today?
Well, speaking of Rokus, somebody on our Cord Cutting Tech Support Facebook group asked if there's any noticeable difference between Rokus that are sold exclusively at Walmart and those that you can find on the Roku website or other retailers.
There are some differences. The Best Buy Roku Stick, for example, has a headphone jack on the remote for the Roku Stick Plus, where all other versions of it sold everywhere else do not have a headphone jack built in. Now, you can still use the Roku app on your phone to do that, but you cannot use the app on your or you cannot use the remote to plug in a headphone on the other versions you get on Best Buy or on Amazon or on Roku.com. The Walmart versions have some similar differences. The Roku Ultra LT, though, which is a Walmart exclusive, is a slightly less powerful version of the Roku Ultra, missing some things like no USB port and that kind of stuff. But if you don't use the USB port and you don't care about the Find My Remote feature, there's not a huge difference in performance between the two, so it's $20 cheaper. You may want to take advantage of that. So Roku has been teaming up with Walmart more. They're going to have a new Walmart version of their Roku TVs, and they're going to have they already have the Roku Walmart soundbar, which you see over my head behind me. On the video version of this, that's a pretty good option there. So a lot of different options, a lot of different selections, but in the end, they all give you the same apps. In the end, they're all Roku OSs.
Also, if you are thinking about getting one and you're concerned about those differences, just go to the Roku website and they will outline all of the features of each of them, so you can really take some time to choose which one you like. All right, question number 2. Somebody is looking for a new internet provider and they do not want a bundle, obviously, with cable TV. So how can people find the best internet-only plans in their area?
You know, that's really tough. Talk to your neighbors a little bit. I know there's some websites that say enter in your information and we'll tell you everybody available in your area. I've yet to find one that has all the internet providers. Sometimes just word of mouth. That's very difficult to do, actually. A lot of companies don't want to disclose where they're available and where they're not available. Trust me, I tried to figure that out for a while. And so keep that in mind, because they are very reticent to hold on to that information to try to prevent people from getting that with it. So check that out. Of course, check out your phone company, check out your cable company. Look into any third-party competitors. If you have AT&T, you may want to look into something like Toast.net, because they resell AT&T Internet, but without a data cap. So keep that in mind. And they also have US-based customer service and more there.
Also, if you are moving or anything to a new area, just post on Facebook real quick if you have friends in the area and say, who's everyone using? People will be happy to let you know. And most people will even tell you how much they're paying every month.
There you go. Yeah, it definitely, also, I've noticed a lot of neighborhoods are getting Facebook groups now. Our old neighbor did. My new one doesn't, kind of strangely. Or there's like the Nextdoor app. And just post in there like, hey, we're moving in. What internet service should we try? So check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Crowdsource. I do have one more quick question for you. Someone asked in the chat as soon as we started, and I wrote this down. Do you have any update on PBS coming to YouTube TV?
They still say sometime in the next couple weeks. Again, next couple weeks is very vague. It could be next week. That could be a couple weeks. Or it could be sometime in maybe Christmas or just before the new year. But they did say they still are looking to have PBS on YouTube TV, maybe not in all markets, but by the end of 2019.
and we will post about it as soon as we hear. If you happen to notice it coming up on your YouTube TV, send us a quick email so we know.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
That's all I have.
All right. Let's quickly do what we're watching. Jess, do you have any recommendations for people to check out today?
I do, and unsurprisingly, mine is coming from Disney+. I've been watching a lot of Marvel, but what I really want to talk about is the Marvel Hero Project. This is a Disney Plus original, and it just tells the story of kids who are real-life heroes and their communities. It's a great show, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I've heard really good things also about the Imagineering story, or look into the Imagineering team at Disney, how they make all the rides and all the things there. But I want to recommend all the late 80s, early 90s cartoons. The X-Men, Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Tailspin, which was one of my favorites. Check those out. There's a lot of great content there where it offers a little bit of everything for somebody out there. All right. Well, that's it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. If you're watching us on YouTube live right now and you're new here, or you're watching a repeat later, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It's a huge help. And if you're watching this and you just joined us, we will immediately after this, as soon as it's done processing, have this entire podcast available as a YouTube video here. And later today, it'll be available as an MP3 over on many different popular apps like TuneIn and the Apple Podcast app and more. Just search for the Cord Cutting This Week podcast, and you'll find the MP3 version of it available there once it's available. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care, everybody. Thank you for your support. Really believe it. Can't believe we hit 120,000 YouTube subscribers. So take care, everyone.